I'm a Swiss Army knife. So if that's spotting up, waiting for getting the ball from Luka or AR, if that's setting pick and rolls in transition, if that's slipping pick and rolls in transition, if that's, if we want to slow the game down in the half court, we want to get some post-up action and be able to create triggers, whatever the case may be. I think, what JJ and the coaches have done, so far, we're playing exceptional basketball with so many injuries so far. Obviously, me being, one of the injuries that we had, but whatever demographic, however the pie, shapes itself on offense, how we want to play and how they want me to.
LeBron has been amazing. I would never he has an extensive back issue with the Cavaliers in 14-15, then again in 15-16, then 16 through 18. Back issues were less frequent, but
for 2 decades, the LeBron James brand has been built on a foundation of superhuman durability and unwavering honesty with the media. But last night, that foundation may have cracked in a very public way. A viral video filmed by a fan outside a Los Angeles hotspot appears to show LeBron James doing something that contradicts his official injury status. The clip, spreading like wildfire, shows him moving in a way that his listed injury should make impossible. The Lakers had just ruled him out for a critical game with what they called a significant issue. The fan caption read simply, "So much for that injury." Instantly, the NBA world exploded. Is this a case of a superstar caught in a lie or a gross misunderstanding taken out of context? One thing is clear. Fans are outraged, and the trust between LeBron and the public is now on trial. It wasn't a TMZ-style ambush. It was a casual, grainy clip posted to a fan's Instagram story, likely meant for friends. The location? The valet area of a high-end Los Angeles restaurant on a night the Lakers were not playing. The timestamp, just hours after the team's official injury report had been released, listing LeBron James as out with a left ankle sprain, described by the coach as something that needs time to settle down. In the 12-second video, LeBron is seen exiting the restaurant. He's dressed in casual streetwear, not suited up for a game. As he turns to speak to someone off camera, he takes a few quick, light steps backward, a spontaneous, unguarded movement. There is no visible limp, no grimace of pain, no hesitance in the motion. To the untrained eye, it looks like the fluid movement of a perfectly healthy person. The fan who posted it added no major commentary, just the skeptical caption, "So much for that injury," and the grimacing emoji. They likely expected a few hundred views from their followers. Instead, the clip was screenshotted, reposted on NBA fan forums, and picked up by aggregator accounts with millions of followers. Within an hour, it was the #1 trending topic on basketball Twitter. The outrage was immediate and visceral. The core accusation was simple: he's faking it. Fans of rival teams accused him of load management fraud, of ducking a tough game while healthy. Even some Lakers fans expressed frustration, questioning why he couldn't suit up if he could move like that. The video became a Rorschach.
And he said, quote, "To do as well as I did, I swear to God, anywhere else, I'm probably looking at as an extension with what I did." I'm not talking about feelings. I'm talking about actual facts. They go from making it to the playoffs to the Final Four in the NBA, the conference finals, and then you win the in-season tournament, navigate through all the injuries, and win both your play-in games to get to the playoffs. People always talk about losing to Denver, but they never talk about how we got to Denver. We beat a kick-ass young squad, Memphis, and beat Golden State. I'm not...
So, okay, and that's just part of it. We'll get to more of it later.
Oh, there's more.
Yeah, there's more. We have a great preview, though, for the regular show on the back-to-back with it.
It's an ongoing thing. Obviously, all the miles that he's logged in this league over the last 20 years and going into his 21st season, we have to be careful. And, again, he makes it easy by how well he...
As the social media inferno raged, the Lakers' public relations machinery shifted into high-gear crisis mode. Their response was a two-pronged strategy: official medical clarity and a fierce defense of their superstar's character. First, a team source spoke to a trusted ESPN reporter, providing unusual detail. The source explained that LeBron was dealing with a moderate to severe low ankle sprain, an injury characterized by significant instability and pain under lateral, side-to-side, load. The key point stressed was this: the nature of this specific injury allows for linear movement and walking without major pain, but cutting, jumping, and explosive lateral movements, the fundamentals of basketball, are currently impossible without risk of major setback. This was a direct technical rebuttal to the video, framing LeBron's casual steps as medically irrelevant to his game status. Simultaneously, head coach Darvin Ham addressed it head-on in his pregame press conference. His tone was a mix of frustration and disbelief. "The narrative is getting out of hand, and it's disrespectful," Ham stated, his voice firm. "We're talking about LeBron James. The man has played through injuries you all will never know about. To suggest he doesn't want to compete or that he and our medical staff are being dishonest is absurd. It ignores 2 decades of evidence. That video is a snapshot with zero context, and it's being weaponized." This defense was powerful but faced an uphill battle. It was a battle of clinical facts versus emotional perception. The team was asking the public to understand biomechanical nuance, while the public had a visceral 12-second video that seemed to show a contradiction. The Lakers were defending a medical protocol, but the fans were judging what they saw as a breach of trust. The official statements did little to quell the outrage. For many, they sounded like a corporate cover story, further proof of a system protecting its most valuable asset.
And like for you, just mentally, physically, part as you ramp up for historic.
Yeah, it's just been kind of the same revolving door, just repetition, rehabbing. Just trying to get back to where I feel like myself again. It's great to be out here today.
How are you feeling at this point after kind of going forward?
I mean, as expected. Obviously, my lungs feel like a newborn baby. That's the most important thing. I got to get my lungs back up to a grown man, and my voice is already gone. One day back barking out calls and assignments and stuff. And
so much think it's a problem that in the last collective bargaining agreement, you may recall, we added some provisions to further incentivize players to play as many games as they possibly can by making them ineligible.
The controversy didn't just divide fans. It exposed a fundamental rift in how sports stories are analyzed in the digital age. 2 completely different conversations unfolded in parallel universes. On one side, the reactionary mob ruled social media. The discourse was driven by memes, outrage, and instant hot takes. Hashtags like LeBron lied and load management fraud trended. Video editors slowed down the clip, added dramatic music and zoom-ins, creating expose videos proving deception. The tone was cynical and prosecutorial, with no room for medical nuance. In this space, the truth was self-evident in the video, and any official explanation was dismissed as spin. On the other side, medical professionals and veteran beat reporters entered the fray, attempting to inject science and context. Renowned orthopedic surgeons and physical therapists began posting threads explaining the pathophysiology of a lateral ankle sprain. They detailed how the anterior talofibular ligament, when sprained, allows for pain-free straight-line walking, but fails catastrophically under the cutting and planting motions of basketball. A player could walk to dinner and be utterly unable to play an NBA game 24 hours later. These are not contradictory facts, one sports physician tweeted. Respected journalists who have covered LeBron for years pointed to his historic pain threshold. They recounted specific games where he played with broken bones, severe back spasms, and a grotesquely swollen ankle, often revealed only years later. If there's one athlete who has earned the benefit of the doubt on injury reporting, it's him, argued one senior columnist. He's the last guy who needs to fake it. But this expert analysis often felt like shouting into a hurricane. The simpler, more emotionally charged narrative, "he lied," was infinitely more shareable and satisfying than a complex lesson in sports medicine. The media fracture was complete, a battle between evidence and emotion, between expertise and echo chamber.
The truth became whatever reality your chosen feed reinforced.
Perhaps LeBron missed this game because of the groin injury, or would you buy on maybe it's a resting thing with the playoff push approaching?
In the words of Ed Lover, come on, son. Come on, come on. Like, here's the problem with LeBron right now and the groin injury or whatever, resting. He came out and said when he was asked about load management, because across the hall, like they share a building, Kawhi's been trolling him since before the season started and just destroying.
How much of this is fake and they're just doing load management and faking their injuries?
How do you manage loads? All over. Forget it.
Well,
I don't think it's so much as load management. I mean,
the real injury from this incident wasn't to LeBron's ankle, it was to the fragile covenant of trust between modern NBA superstars and the paying public. The outrage over a 12-second video tapped into a deep, pre-existing reservoir of fan frustration. For years, fans have grown increasingly skeptical of load management and injury reporting. They see star players sitting out nationally televised games, only to appear healthy in social media posts later. They buy expensive tickets, hoping to see their heroes, only to find them in street clothes on the bench. The LeBron video was not an isolated event. It was the perfect spark for this simmering resentment. It confirmed every fan's deepest suspicion. They're not really hurt. They're just choosing not to play for us. This erosion of trust has severe consequences. It cheapens the product. When fans can't believe the basic premise of why a player is or isn't on the court, the game itself feels more like a scripted entertainment product than a genuine competition. They start to feel like marks in a con rather than supporters of a team. Furthermore, it puts ethical players in an impossible position. Athletes with legitimate, pain-limiting injuries that don't require a boot or crutches now face intrusive public scrutiny over their every move off the court. Do they have to publicly limp everywhere to be believed? The video sets a dangerous precedent where a player's private time is no longer their own, but evidence to be used against them in the court of public opinion. For LeBron personally, the damage is unique. He has built a 20-year reputation on toughness and transparency. This incident, however baseless, applies a permanent smudge on that legacy. Every future questionable or out designation will now be met with a layer of side-eye skepticism that didn't exist before. He's been subjected to the same cynical scrutiny that surrounds younger stars, a space he had previously transcended. The king is no longer above the suspicion that governs the rest of the league.
Been like mentally, physically hard as you ramp up for historic.
Yeah, it's just been kind of the same revolving door, just repetition, rehabbing. Just trying to get back to where I feel like myself again. It's great to be out here today.
How are you feeling at this point after kind of going full?
I mean, as expected. Obviously, my lungs feel like a newborn baby. That's the most important thing.
Los Angeles Lakers superstar LeBron James is preparing for his 23rd NBA season. And his top priority is getting his left knee completely healthy for training camp. The 40-year-old recently confirmed his knee is feeling good after he sprained a ligament in April during the Lakers' playoff elimination game against the Minnesota Timberwolves. James, who spoke about his recovery while promoting a new Amazon commercial, emphasized that maintaining his body is critical.
In the center of this hurricane, LeBron James himself remained a pillar of deliberate, powerful silence. He did not post the video to his story with a laughing emoji. He did not go on a Spaces session to defend himself. He did not tweet a single word about the outrage. This silence was not an admission of guilt. It was a strategic reassertion of status. By refusing to engage, LeBron communicated that the controversy was beneath him, a digital tempest in a teacup unworthy of his direct attention. It forced the narrative to revolve around reactions to him rather than a dialogue with him. He allowed his coach, team sources, and medical experts to fight the battle on the factual front, while he remained above the emotional fray. His only public actions were telling. In the days following, his Instagram stories featured two things. focused off-foot rehabilitation work in the gym, icing, mobility drills, and, as always, his family and business ventures. This was his true rebuttal, a visual diary of the mundane, disciplined reality of injury management, contrasted against the chaotic fantasy of the scandal. He was showing the work, not defending the accusation. This approach highlights the new power dynamic. A superstar of his magnitude no longer needs to win arguments on Twitter. He can win them by controlling the narrative off it. His non-response sent a clear, chilling message to critics. You do not dictate my reality. Your outrage is not my problem. In doing so, he may have deepened the very divide the incident revealed, proving that the trust between a global icon and the public is not a two-way street, but a presentation. LeBron injury video scandal has already rewritten the unofficial rulebook for how NBA controversies ignite and spread in the social media age. It demonstrated a terrifyingly efficient new formula. The formula is now clear. 1. A grainy, context-free clip from a private citizen, plus 2, an accusatory, skeptical caption, plus 3, the algorithm's amplification equals instant national scandal. This incident proves that the burden of proof has been inverted. The default public assumption is now skewing toward deception. The player and the team are guilty until they can prove their innocence with complex medical data, a task nearly impossible against a wave of memes and outrage. The 24/7 surveillance of athletes' off-court lives means there is no longer a private moment that can't be weaponized. For teams, the crisis management playbook must now include preemptive context. The Lakers' detailed medical explanation was effective for some, but it was reactive. It came after the narrative was set. Future injury reports for star players may need to come with voluntary, detailed video explainers from team doctors, a surreal but perhaps necessary step to preempt public trials by smartphone. Most importantly, this marks a point of no return for fan-star relations. The covenant used to be, we believe you're hurt if you say you're hurt. That covenant is broken. The new unspoken dynamic is one of transactional skepticism. Fans will enjoy the highlights and buy the jerseys, but a layer of fundamental belief, the kind that underpins true sports fandom, has been permanently stripped away. The relationship is now more cynical, more contractual, and far more fragile. So what was truly exposed by that fan's video? It was not LeBron James faking an injury. The medical evidence and his career-long ethos strongly refute that. What was caught on camera was something more profound, the glaring, perhaps unbridgeable gap between clinical reality and public perception in the modern sports world. We witnessed the collision of two truths. Truth 1, the biological truth of a specific ligament injury that allows walking but not playing. Truth 2, the emotional truth of fans who feel cheated by an industry they see as increasingly dishonest and mercenary. The video was a Rorschach test that revealed our own biases. It showed us a public ready to believe the worst, a media ecosystem that rewards outrage over understanding, and a superstar powerful enough to ignore both. The haunting final question isn't about LeBron's ankle, it's about the health of the sport itself. In an era where anyone with a smartphone can become a prosecutor and any moment can become evidence, can the essential trust required between athlete and fan survive? Or are we destined for a future where every game is played under a cloud of default suspicion and every injury report is met not with concern but with cynical hashtags? The court of public opinion has rendered its verdict on trust, and it found it guilty.